All right, good morning, everyone. Let me just prop you up here. There we go. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday, everyone. Let me just make sure you guys can hear me all loud and clear. Let me just make sure we're on over here. There's always one. There's always one. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I was about to say Monday. But it is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope everyone's had a good long weekend. Ready for another good week in the markets. Loud and clear. Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, Tuesday. I know it's Tuesday. I thought it was Monday. Welcome back, guys. Any guys who are new here, my name is Aaron Trades. Been trading for about 7 years and mainly focus on gold futures here in the European session. So we'll have a look at all markets here today, guys. We have seen gold have a pretty decent sell-off this morning. Yeah, it's been a pretty decent sell-off here this morning, gold. I personally haven't traded at all today, guys. So I am clean on the day, no trades, you know, waiting to jump on with you guys. And Asia has had a very, very decent move down. We've seen a pretty choppy day, to say the least. You have had a very decent sell-off here. I was actually looking for longs on the day. And I'll show you guys why as well. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Yeah, Monday. I know. I thought it was Monday. We do also have a big week of news this week, guys. So there's nothing much here today, but tomorrow, for you guys who are trading Asia tomorrow, we have Australian dollar CPI at 2:30 London time. We have the Royal Bank of New Zealand monetary policy statements at 3 a.m. And then we have Royal Bank of New Zealand press conference an hour later. And then we have FOMC meeting minutes at 7 p.m. for the US dollar London time. So very, very, very big week. And then on Thursday, we do also have GDP for the US dollar at 1:30 London time as well. So yeah, we're in for a pretty active week, guys. A very, very active week in the markets. Lots going on this week now that we've got yesterday out of the way. Hopefully you guys had a good long weekend. I know as traders, we don't like the long weekends. We want to get right back into it. Even though, there was actually some nice moves yesterday on gold. Even though it was a bank holiday. It was nice. It was very nice. But yeah, no trades for me so far today on any of my accounts, guys. We are pretty flat on the day. So yeah, pretty big week. But let's have a look, see what we got for the week here on gold, guys. I did end up taking a trade on Friday evening. I took a trade that lasted about 2 minutes, and then I started to make a YouTube video about how, it wasn't just a 2-minute trade. It was a day of waiting for this whole entire move up, and I didn't get any of this, and then I got my piece. So I took, about $900, one contract in about 2 minutes, which was a very, very, very nice trade. So having a look for the day on gold, guys, let's do a little bit of top down here. We'll look at Nasdaq as well. I know my light's shining a bit of a shadow on my face. It's probably in a bit of an annoying place, but it's all good. It's all good. So last week on gold, guys, we ended up closing with a very strong bullish candle, closing back above the previous week's high and back above 3,300. Now 3,300 is a big round psychological level here on gold, and last week was very, very, very strong. A 1,600 tick candle is huge, but you can kind of see, this weekly is in a pretty big range. Gold's having a bit of a sell-off here, guys. I'm watching it on a currency chart, but we're not missing anything just yet. But yeah, gold's been in this range since the 21st of April. Now it's a weekly range, so it doesn't matter too much for us day traders. We've still had some amazing trades within this range. But with last week closing so bullish, I'm kind of anticipating that this week is going to potentially be a bottom wick. before this candle is, going to come up for something like this. What's happened to my colors? Who set me up and changed my colors to bright pink on a Tuesday morning? Because that certainly wasn't me. Let me change these back here. So basically anticipating that, this week is going to have a very nice weekly bottom wick, which is kind of what we're creating now before potentially going higher. What's interesting on where gold is right now is we are tapping into yesterday's lows. So we're right into yesterday's lows. We're back down at some huge daily support as well. So I don't really want to be a seller here on gold, even though we have had a huge push down today already. I don't really want to be a seller here, guys. If anything, I'm watching this daily high. I've lost all my settings. Let me just tweak my settings back. These are my liquidity levels. So current daily high, Friday's high looks pretty interesting as well. It's pretty much the first day of the week. First trading day of the week. Bank holiday is usually a bit funny. So we are kicking off the week here. So massive daily support. Yeah, thank you guys. It's saying you love the background. Nice. I was gonna go to the office today, but I was like, you know what? I don't feel like driving there, so we'll just do it from here instead. So hopefully the audio and layout's all good. I did get this. I did buy a little prop-up mic to keep here at home for the days where I don't make it to the office in time. But yeah, it's a beautiful sunset. It's coming up to 22:05 p.m. here for me. 20 to 5 here in Australia. So gold has had regardless of what we want to see, whether we want to see gold bounce off these daily support levels or not, intraday we are bearish. Gold has been having a very, very decent push down here, which you kind of see. And we actually talked about this before on the pre-London session, how you actually formed a very nice evening star here on gold. Pretty early though. I don't usually watch the charts at 5 a.m. London time, but there was actually a very nice hourly evening star, which was also a very, very, very nice 30-minute fake out. Look at that 30-minute fake out there, guys. Absolutely beautiful. So you closed above the resistance, you then closed right back below, and that 30-minute fake out is what gave that hourly that beautiful wick rejection. And in hindsight, of course, that would have been a fantastic place to short. So you're shorting a 30-minute fake out in confluence with the hourly also liquidating previous hourly highs, holding a massive, massive level of resistance. Look how big this level of resistance is here. So that was a very, very, very nice short there. Unfortunately, I wasn't on the charts that early. Like I say, I don't typically watch the charts that early. That's pretty early for me. I usually start watching around like 6 a.m. So by the time we did jump on here at like 6 a.m., price is already pushed down very, very strong. So to me, I don't really want to be a seller here. I think if you're trying to be a seller on gold, the sales have already happened. What's interesting here, and I believe Dakota spoke about this on his slow markets call with Jay this morning, is we do have a very, very, very large trend line coming up here on gold. And it's looking like we are coming down to squeeze that. You guys know the way that I like to trade trend lines is I like to spot these levels and I like to short into them. Well, that's kind of what we're doing here. But what is also interesting, guys, if you have a look at a much higher time frame, you can also see the exact same to the highs. And if gold is going to, have a, true squeeze of this, I guess you could call it, what, a flag pattern, I guess this is what, people call it. What gold loves to do is it loves to have that false move before the potential move. So if we're going to get that squeeze up in some new highs on gold, coming down to potentially liquidate some lows first before seeing that is what's looking pretty likely. And that's why this sell-off actually makes sense here on gold. It's just unfortunate that I wasn't on the charts at 5 a.m. But again, it is what it is. You guys have your trading hours of when your plan works. Anything outside of that, who cares? Although it might be frustrating, that's trading. We're not, trying to be traders to be on the markets 24/7. Otherwise, if you can't bear to not be on the charts, you can't bear to walk away. Then when you get to a point of trading, for a living, it'll be very, very stressful. So although this has had a push down here this morning, we just have to accept it and say, you know what, we'll still come on here today and we'll still look for our piece of the markets. We won't set our day up for failure by complaining that gold's had a big push down. It is what it is. We accept it and we still look for good opportunities. So lower time frame here on gold, guys. You're coming down to squeeze. Let me have a look on the currency chart. You're coming down. So we saw this wick that we were talking about here in the pre-London session. and a lot of the guys were talking about, you know, should we start buying this? Because, you know, you're below the previous lows, you've started to have a rejection. And the lower time frame tried to bring you into longs. However, I kind of looked at this hourly and I go, well, you've still closed bearish below this level. So there's no reason for me to want to buy this just yet. So at any top wick, you know, shorting into this hourly low was a nice wick fill here. Now, if we do want to buy gold today, which I don't really want to do anytime soon, to be honest, we'll have to see how we react around these previous lows. And see how we get the London Open here. This is a pretty decent push down before London's even opened. We got London Open in about 15 minutes here as well, guys. So let's see how we react around these lows. God is bearish and you are wrong about longs. Did I just talk to myself or something? Did I just say I'm not going long? If you want to go long, you just wait for fake out opportunities. Very, very simple. So I actually think you're wrong. So we'll wait to see what gold does around these lows. Like I say, this isn't a place where I want to be a seller. The sells have already come in. If you try and short after you have pushed down this much, then, you know, that's the move. You're almost trying to, you know, you're trying to chase this. We've already had a very, very, very large move down. You know, this is a 330 tick push down here. I'm not going to be chasing this. So we'll have a look at some other markets, guys. So anything you do want to have a look at as well, we can absolutely do that. I know NQ did have a beautiful bounce here from a very nice hourly fake out as well. Let's clean some of these levels up here. NQ actually probably had the nicest of setup, to be honest. NQ, you know, kind of holding this very nice. Let me just skip on this music. Let me turn this down a bit. Let me skip this on. This copyright-free music isn't the one, is it? That'll do. It'll do for now. Yeah, you can see NQ here has been holding this very nice inverse head and shoulders here. And NQ longs up into these highs here around, what is this? 21,340. Looks like a, wow, gold with this big sell-off here, guys. Massive sell-off here on gold. Huge sell. Yeah, blue J here. It looks like it, man. It looks like it. Yeah, what a rip here on gold, guys. This is a crazy sell-off. Let me just have a quick look at the news. This is a big sell-off here, guys. This is why you don't want to try and catch the bombs here. This is huge. Yeah, NQ actually had a very decent bounce. We had that very nice hourly fake out. So let me just get rid of these drawings here. And it actually presented nicer than gold because it happened within the times that we were able to jump on. We had this very nice grab the highs, closure back below. Now, why would you not short that? Well, you could have shorted it. You know, maybe if you're looking for something down there. To me, it already had a pretty decent push down. So if you start wanting to go, you know, if you want to go long, that's fine. But you have to wait for the candle to close and show you that that fake out is confirmed. So the second this hourly closed back above, you guys know that's our beautiful fake out trade. And already NQ is having a monster of a push, especially with gold dipping lower here. Gold dipping lower, NQ squeezing higher for a very nice push. But no Asia trades for me. I haven't traded any of my accounts today. I was initially looking for longs on the day on gold. So once it kind of started selling off, I wasn't really watching it too much. I had some nice buys yesterday. I had some nice buys on Friday, but no, I haven't taken any trades here yet today. So I'm clean on all of my accounts. No trades for me just yet. So if we do get some trades, it will be together for the first time. This is I'm just watching gold here on the currency chart on the 5-minute, already starting to have a solid rejection. So we want to see this. We want to see this London Open here, guys. We want to see this London Open. If you have time, there was a liquidity grab on oil at 30 with a strong hammer for our candle close. Yeah, we can have a look at oil as well. Let me just quickly share what we're looking at on Nasdaq. So, you know, NQ has already had a very strong move. Continuation trades on NQ, you'd have to see some decent pullbacks. NQ has had a very strong push since 6 a.m. London time. And these highs here look like a very nice target. Now, how did you close last week? You did close bearish last week. This week's opening and instantly pushing up, which is interesting. How did the daily close? Daily close, what, holding around 21,000? Where's our, let's put our key levels on here. We've got 21,000 here. 21,000 here. Let's make this smaller. Let me just make this 50. It's close to 50%. You know, you had a strong closure below on Friday, and yesterday you closed right back above. So longs on NQ, you know, even into previous daily high, looks like a pretty decent trade. It's already had a pretty strong push, so wouldn't really be trying to buy it just yet unless you can get, you know, maybe a pullback to continue buying. The buys are once you had the fake out move, especially here. Look at this 30-minute here, guys. Not only did you have a fake out, you also had a beautiful liquidity grab at the previous low before closing back above. Very, very, very nice push here. Again, this is all before London Open, guys. We haven't even had the London Open yet. It's a very, very, very decent push. Yeah, I don't know where they're all coming from at the minute. I know when they can get 5 accounts here, then, you know, maybe, but I don't think so. I don't think so. So, some big pre-London moves today, guys. You know, the market sometimes can be a bit funny the first day after a bank holiday, but more so, we do have a lot of news this week. I know some of you guys mentioned on the pre-London stream that you have just got funded, which is absolutely amazing. Don't feel like you have to force it and, you know, over trade it on a week like this week. You know, we had bank holidays yesterday in Europe, in the US. We have GDP this week. We have a lot of news on Wednesday as well. So don't go too crazy. Let's not say we can't get trades, but, you know, just be aware of that. Gold, we're going to see this London Open here, guys. Oil longs into trendline liquidity. Nice. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at oil. Gold's going to need a little bit of time here. Like I say, guys, it's had a very, very strong push. Wow, that was nice. Let me have a look at that. Yeah, that was a very nice trend line there. Where's that? That's a beautiful trend line. See, if this was gold right now, would be buying this up. That's a very, very, very nice trend line. Not only is it a nice trend line, but we've also came down, grabbed the lows, and had a nice bounce here already. Yeah, oil longs look good. Yeah, bouncing off this trend line, you're probably going to get a lot of people jumping in some shorts. If you can come down, hold some lows, this could be nice. The hourly, let's see. Yeah, this is nice. A rejection from here. I would imagine a lot of people are probably trying to do something like this, looking for this big play down. Whereas if this hourly can close like this, next hourly come down for a bottom wick, and then you can see if you can get these nice longs. That actually probably looks the nicest out of everything we've looked for so far. That hasn't already had, you know, such a big push. From experience, how does E-News affect NQ? I haven't really traded NQ enough to kind of watch it. I don't think it really... Well, there was news at what? What time was there news? Was it today there was news? I wouldn't imagine it has that much of an impact. Same as gold, like it doesn't really do that much. Was there some Euro news that came out? France CPI 0 points. No, I don't think that would have that much of a move. Maybe, I don't think so though. But yeah, Goldie having a huge sell-off here, guys. Let's have a look. Yeah, NQ's having a crazy bounce here, I think. And we'll have a look at some currencies as well, guys. Especially we just had that euro. Let's have a quick look at the euro. What can we see here on the euro? This was our analysis from Friday. Remember, guys, we had huge buys on Friday on the euro. Remember, you guys, we spoke about these liquidity levels all the way up here for euro to bounce into once you came down and grabbed the lows. The euro pretty much hit every single one of our liquidity levels from Friday. So these are the levels that we spoke about on Friday. You know, we were looking at the longs from what, all the way down here up into these first two levels. Then you end up coming all the way for the highs. Then you had major news, huge whipsaw price action. So liquidity levels got hit very, very, very well on Friday. Some big moves. And then you saw some crazy price action into the New York session. And now you have just had that Euro news that I believe has come out as expected. Where are we? Yes, more than expected. So let's have a look at this. Let me have a quick look at oil, guys. I don't want to miss a potential oil play. Gold's still having a huge sell-off here, guys. Gold is not one to trade against either. You know, although you may be looking for longs below previous day lows, it's not one to trade against. What I mean by that is gold loves to give the false intraday traps to try and bring you into longs with these rejections. You know, if you want to go long on gold, you need some strong fake outs. Right now, gold is having a very, very big sell-off. So you don't want to be trying to catch the bottoms on gold. If gold's pushing down, gold's pushing down. You know, if you get some huge fake outs, then great. But as of right now, there's no real reason to think that. This is a absolutely huge sell-off again. Same as Friday. This is a 400 tick sell-off since 4:30 London time. This is a huge, huge, huge push. So if gold's having a huge sell-off, guys, you know, if you're not already in the shorts, don't try and chase it down here. It's, you know, it's had the move. It might be frustrating, but just, you know, accept it and wait. You'll still get your trade today. Even if you don't, fine. Look at something else or come back tomorrow. But yeah, crude longs do look nice. These double top levels up here look very solid, which is right around what, 61.75. Looks like a pretty decent buy area. Now, if you were going to get long here on crude, where would you want to do it? Where would you want to do it? Probably back down, anywhere back down in these areas. If gold can create structure in 5 minutes, is it a good for the entry for sells? I mean, we may as well wait for this London Open here. But I mean, yeah, sells make the most sense. It's having a absolutely huge sell-off. The only thing is, it's, you know, how often do you see gold rip down 400 ticks and then continue selling off more? You know, at what point is it actually just too overextended? So it's not saying that you can't sell it, but you just want to make sure you're getting in with a good risk to reward. You know, look at how much you would be risking if you were trying to sell it. Yeah, you know, if you could pull back, maybe grab some highs, have some, you know, 15 fake outs or 30-minute fake outs, absolutely. It makes the most logical sense to want to continue following this. But from what we've seen on gold, same as kind of what we saw on Friday actually, you know, when you do have these massive moves up, you can typically range for the next like 2-3 hours, which you can still get good trades within them ranges. That's what I did on Friday. If you guys didn't see, I posted on a post on YouTube about the trade that I took on Friday, which was about 90 ticks, one contract, $900 in like 2 minutes. And that's what trading's all about. You know, it wasn't a 2-minute trade. It was not being able to catch this because, again, I wasn't on the markets at 4 a.m. London time. You accept it and you wait. Did the exact same thing on Friday. You know, price ripped up like 400 ticks before I was able to get on the charts. Once the trade becomes available, you know, you can still get your piece. You just need to wait for it. And I had a amazing entry on Friday. It was literally like 90 ticks in like 2 minutes, just buying below previous 50-minute lows with a very nice clear liquidity target. So we can absolutely be looking for the same. You just need to follow the plan and wait for it. Yeah, it does. I mean, if gold's going down, NQ's going higher. Intraday, I don't use it as a compliment to like not take trades or to take trades, but yeah, overall, they've been moving very well together. Not all the time, you know, there's plenty of times seen NQ sell off, gold sell off, but all in all, yeah, they pretty much move inversely. If you're in a trade and you hit your profit target to pass a combine, does it automatically shut you out, or do you need to manually exit? No, you'll need to manually close it, man. As far as I'm aware, you have to manually close it. I've always manually closed mine. It will stop you out if you, you know, if you hit stops or something like that. But if you hit TP, no, you'd wanna manually cut it, man. Maybe even just set a hard TP, you know, like a couple of ticks above. Oh, you can set it to liquidate. There you go. There you go. Ever trade? No, micro Bitcoin. No, we can have a look though. I know Bitcoin did reach some huge highs again. But I've never day traded Bitcoin. You can kind of see here On the future chart, you didn't quite grab all-time highs, but on the spot chart, you actually did. So it looks like there's a double top here in the futures, which there is. But if you look at the Bitcoin against the US dollar chart on TradingView, it did actually tap into all-time highs. But no, I've never day traded, to be honest. But technical-wise, like, it does move very well. It does move very simple. I look at Bitcoin on the daily sometimes, like, man, it gives a very clean overall moves. But intraday, I've never traded it. Like, does it move in London? Maybe I'm not too sure. You guys probably know better than me. I've never traded this. What do I look for to get in? Same as the trade on Friday. I wait for liquidity to be built up. Moves pretty well in New York. Yeah, nice. That's good. Yeah, it probably maybe doesn't move that well in London. I'm not too sure. It moves probably more in New York. But what do I look for to get in? I look for very clear targets, which in the form of, you know, double tops, a very nice liquidity level. And then, you know, I'll get in, you know, maybe below some previous lows or a fake out, for example. The one that I took on Friday, I just market executed below the lows because it's a pretty decent area. And I was like, these highs are that strong that I just want to be in this trade. And can I show my executions from previous days? Let's have a look. Show executions. Will it work? Where are we? Yeah, nice. There you go. So I got long here on Friday. So I got long at 33.25.2. I've already done this here. 33.25.2, and I got out at 3334.4. 334.4. So I got out of the liquidity targets, had my hard TP there, and I got in below the previous lows. So what I look for is very clear targets and very clear liquidity levels, and I'm trying to trade up into them liquidity levels. And that was the same day on Friday, you know, where price had a huge move before we were able to jump on, but you can still come on and get your piece. Same as gold, you know, gold's had a huge sell-off today, guys. So you can try and revenge it down here, you can get frustrated, you can get annoyed, or you can accept it, wait, and then take your trade. Exactly the same thing on Friday. You know, this move on gold happened at like 4 a.m., which was crazy early for London. Waited, didn't trade during this range, waited for liquidity to be built, and then you get your trade. We'll pretty much do the exact same thing today on gold. That's where we'll probably have a look at some other instruments instead. Yeah, we've got London Open here, guys. We got the London Open, and gold is very, very, very bearish. Now, the only thing with gold being so bearish is, like I said to you guys, I don't want to be a seller down here. I also don't want to be a buyer down here. So for the hour that we're going to be on here for today, guys, I think gold's probably going to be off the cards. And we should use this to look at something else. I don't want to be a seller down here on gold because you're coming back into some massive levels. And I certainly don't want to be buying against this. So gold's going to require some patience today, guys. So I'm happy to look at some other markets that you guys may want to look at that we don't normally look at. Yeah, we can look at the euro as well, definitely. We can look at some pound. We can look at some currency futures. Absolutely. How do you trail your stop on TradingView? You mean on the Topstep platform? If you're, I don't know, if you're in sells from up here, you can just drag your stop order down below every single kind of. I personally don't trail. I don't find trailing works that well on gold unless you get the times like this, which is not very often. But if you want to trail, yeah, you just drag down your stop order. Who's the most influential person that helped you become a good trader? Good question. Anton Krill is probably someone I used to watch the most. I've probably watched countless amount of hours of Anton Krill's content. I unfortunately didn't find him in my earlier days where I probably would have liked to have taken his courses that he does have online. But yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from Anton Krill. A lot of the good traders that I do look at, I don't look at them from a technical perspective. I look at them more from a psychological perspective. Like the most influential people in my trading haven't been necessarily people that have taught me some sort of technicals. It's more so what can I learn from them mentally. That's what I find to be the most influential. But yeah, Anton Kra has some incredible videos on YouTube. Awesome videos. Yeah, Anton Kra is very solid. Yep, has some great content. One of his videos that inspired me the most was it was like a documentary where they followed him around. It was like 7 rules or something. I can't remember what exactly what it's called, but I've watched that one a lot. It's a very, very good video. Let me just have a look at the... Let's have a look here. Yep, can we get that here? Let's have a look. Looks to be set up for a nice long. Let's have a look. I mean, daily is at some huge levels. You grabbed the lows yesterday. Big support. That's a pretty solid. That's a pretty solid rejection, though. That's a very solid rejection. Let's have a look. 4 hour. You know, it's a huge grab there. Yes, he does. Yeah, he does. He does. He talks all about building your own infrastructure. I mean, yeah, you're already breaking back out. The only thing is, you want to look for like where would your targets be? Where would your targets be if you were buying here? Maybe to come back up into some big areas up here. If anyone here trades NQ, do the morning star and evening star playouts well there. From what I have seen, and from what the guys have been sharing in Discord, yeah, it does quite a lot, to be honest. I don't know if it works as well as gold, but I saw the guys sharing them a lot last week, but some of you guys probably traded more. You may know better. I think gold probably does a lot more, but you kind of see, yeah, you do have some here. You kind of have some to the highs. You had one here this morning, didn't really quite work out. You had a nice little evening star here, didn't quite push down that much. Yeah, I'll be interested if they work as well. Yeah, look at the S&P. I assume S&P's probably already had a huge move, same as NQ. Those are our levels from Friday. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Goldie's starting to create a bit of a range down at the lows, which is good. That's what we want to see. I'm watching gold here on the trading view chart, and it looks like it's creating a bit of a range, which is what we want to see. Yes. Bearish closure last week, grabbing previous weekly highs. Yesterday closed back above. You kind of have to take yesterday with a pinch of salt because it was a US bank holiday. But that's a pretty decent fake out, You broke below, you closed back above. It looks like you still had some decent volume yesterday, even though it was a bank holiday. So again, same as NQ. Previous daily highs look like a pretty easy target. Now, the only thing is, on an intraday perspective, has it already pushed from the nicest buying areas? Yes. Buys up into here look pretty nice. But again, same as NQ. If you're going to be buying ES, the buys were back down at the lows, and that again was a great fake out trade, guys. If that was gold, it would be absolutely in this. Got a bounce. Have a good one. Yeah, nice one, Jordan. See you next time, man. Here you came down, liquidated the lows, broke back above. That right there would have been a beautiful trade. But again, same as gold. Now that you've already had this great push, if you try and start to trade up here, you could easily get caught in a range. So do I see new opportunities in ES right now? Not really. Buys are from down here. I wouldn't be interested in trying to trade up here. There's nowhere to really manage risk, and you can also almost get caught at a trade right into resistance. Roll over instant last? No, not really, to be honest, man. Not really. I traded the currency side more. It was nothing that I ever really looked at. So now, for my gold analysis, not really, to be honest. Goldie with the big self, here goes. When you open the Euro chart, could we potentially sell our way into the 4-hour trend line? 4-hour trend line. Let's have a look. Where's the 4-hour trend line? I mean, as long as you've grabbed some highs and you have targets, definitely. Let's have a look. Was there a reason to have shorted it? Not really. I don't really see too much up here. I mean, you kind of tried to form a nice evening star here. Couldn't quite break back below. I mean, if this wasn't news, then yeah, definitely. You know, it's a huge grab the lows, re-breaking down. Like, yeah, selling that would have been nice, but you probably wouldn't want to trade the news. But in normal times, yeah, if you can spot a trend line and you want to short into that trend line, definitely. You just want to make sure you still have the same liquidity reasons for entry, you know, grabbing highs, breaking out. So same as the buys on the Euro on Friday here. You know, as long as it follows the same plan, you grab lows, you break out, you have clear targets, absolutely. As long as you have all of them elements, definitely. You know, here, grab lows, broke out, cool. Buys from here to here, great trade. So as long as you had the same reason to have shorted this, then yep, I don't see why not. Goldie, again, it was, what, Friday we saw a huge move on gold in the London session. Not even the London session, like 4 a.m. Same again here today, 4 a.m. with the moves. We need to start getting up earlier. We need to start streaming at 4 a.m. London time. Some very, very, very big moves. And it's kind of, like I say, guys, it's hard to want to trade down here. Certainly not a level where I want to be a buyer just yet. And I also don't want to be selling here. You're going to have to accept that it's probably going to range for a little bit of a while. Let's have a look at, have a look at the pound. Let's have a look. Yeah, like I said, in compliments, all the reset fact. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, shorting or trading into trendline liquidity, definitely valid. It's some of my best trades actually. So if say if you were trying to short the euro, say if you had a trend line coming up like this, to be honest, they're some of my favorite trades. Kind of same as what gold's doing right now, to be honest. Like say if you're pushing like this, you know, once you come here, that's where people start to jump in longs, and that's where you can then get the shorts. That's probably my favorite ways to trade the trend line. Kind of pretty much what gold's doing right now. You know, you had the trend line coming up. If you were able to spot that beforehand, shorting into that trend line would have been beautiful. Why? Because you know so many people are trying to buy that trend line. So you had this huge, and this is the reason that I don't trade trend lines. I do trade trend lines, but not in the textbook way of trading trend lines, because that's not how gold likes to move. You know, if you see a trend line like this on gold that's been held for this long, you want to be shorting into that, because you already know how many people are trying to buy here. You know, buy here. If you can get a reason to do so, which here you had that 30-minute fake out and also hourly rejection, shorting into that trend line down into these lows would have been amazing. So yeah, if you can spot them trend lines before they get squeezed, absolutely, shorting into them is very nice. It NQ buys, nice, man. Where did you get in from? Where did you get in from, man? I mean, yeah, you did just grab the lows and starting to break back higher. No, sorry, ES did grab the lows. NQ didn't grab the lows, but if you look at ES, confluence the two. ES liquidated the previous lows and started to break back higher. As long as you're open to managing aggressively at them lows, at them highs, it's a good trade, man. Again, this is what I want to see, to be honest, guys. Gold finding some support. Yeah, not enough to call it yet, but finding some support is good. 5-minute just grab a low, starting to break back higher. Again, it's not enough for me to want to try and trade against this huge push down, but it is the first signs of support. Good morning, traders. Good morning, man. Good morning. Yeah, 200 profit. Nice. Beautiful work, man. Beautiful work. $5 and $15 NQ. Grab the lows. Let's have a look. Yeah, beautiful, man. Beautiful. Grab the lows. Broke back above. Yep. I like that. In the morning for me, I'm about to sleep. Yeah, it's not for me either, to be honest. It's 5:15 in the evening. I'm not about to sleep, but yeah, it's not the morning for me either. It's 5:15 in the evening. Let's see, did oil try and shape up? Remember, guys, whether it gets hit in the London session here, we'll see. But be watching this trend line here on oil. Buying up into the trend line, kind of same as what we were talking about the euro. Looks really nice. Why? Because I would imagine a lot of people are trying to short this in oil. Try and look for this huge play down. Well, if it moves anything like gold, these trend lines are a fantastic way to buy up into them trend lines. Trying to take advantage of where most people are trying to sell. Yeah, 3,300. Where is it on the futures? Yeah, came very, very close to that 3,300 level. Again, you know, look at it as well. This is a huge, huge, huge area. Massive, massive, massive area. And like I say, you know, my overall bias is, you know, gold to squeeze higher. We just don't have to try and be the first ones in. You know, a 5-minute bounce isn't enough to trade against a 400 tick push down pre-London. If you're going to get, you know, a reversal on gold, it's going to take its time. Yeah, might squeeze a bit more. Yeah, it definitely could, man. Definitely could. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me. I think if you're going to see that big push up on gold, it's not just going to happen for no reason out of nowhere. Oh, nice. 936 P&L. Beautiful work, man. Beautiful work. 1K. Very nice, man. Very nice. That's what we like to hear. On a Tuesday morning as well. Remember, guys, it's also the first day after the bank holiday. Don't feel like you have to go crazy today, guys. We got all week to get some beautiful trades. And not all week is gold going to have had a absolutely huge sell-off before the London session. Trying to hold a morning star here, came down, grabbed the lows, rejected. Is it enough to buy stop? In normal times, if it hadn't have pushed down so much, yes, that would be a trade I would look for. But it's pushed down way too much for me to want to try and call the bottom here. Our job isn't to call the bottom. What we're going to have a look? We're going to have a look at the pound. Let me have a quick look at the pound. I got a brief look. It's looking pretty... I think if you guys are looking for newer opportunities here in the London session for the next, you know, couple of hours, I think oil would be one to watch. Oil is probably looking the cleanest. But yeah, banks are printing money after Memorial Day. Yeah, absolutely. You even still had some very decent moves yesterday. I took $1,000 from Topstep yesterday, which is very nice. In Asia, hourly here on the pound. Again, pretty ugly to be honest, guys. You're grabbing the lows, you're grabbing the highs. Pound doesn't have anything of interest. Again, I think oil is much nicer. Let's have a look at copper. We missed copper. Poor copper got skipped out today. We like to do some copper trades. Wow, it looks like you finally broke out of that huge daily range that you were in since pretty much the entire month of May. You finally started to break out there on copper. Again, nice highs on copper around, what, $5? Looks like a pretty solid next level. Let's put on $5 there. 500, I don't know about 500. $5 looks nice. Oil, why oil? Oil looks the nicest because it hasn't already had such massive moves. You know, NQ's already had a big move, gold's already had a big move. Oil hasn't, and it's creating some very nice trendline liquidity to buy up into. So oil and potentially copper, not quite, are shaping up. Gold, I mean, gold longs overall right now, not really. You know, there's a fine line between trading what we think and what's right in front of us. Gold's had a 456 tick sell-off today, so don't try and call the bottom here on gold. Let the markets come to us. You'd want to see at least, you know, a 30-minute fake out on gold, or maybe even an hourly, to be honest. But if you stay patient for it, it will give you a nice opportunity. Let's have a look at copper. So, yeah, copper finally broke out of this range. You had a decent close on Friday, given that weekly, a very nice breakout as well. How many, what's the date today? 27th. How long have we got to the end of the month? What? Is it this week? Yeah, final trading week of the month. Wow, this month's gone quick. This month's gone very, very quick. So how's that month looking? Again, huge monthly resistance, which you can't ignore. Monthly support, monthly resistance. Weekly did have a nice breakout. Daily, same as gold, having a very strong squeeze lower. So So same as gold, you know, although this is coming into, you know, 475, which is the level that we spoke about last week, guys, 475. You'd want to see if this can hold as support. But again, do you want to be the first one in the markets trying to trade against this? Not yet. So let a range be created down here, let liquidity be grabbed, and then you can see if you can get your plays. Gold 15 trying to flip bullish here. It's not enough for me to, like I say, it's not enough for me to want to trade against this huge push down, but it's trying to shape up for a little morning star here. 5 minute also just grabbed the previous 5 minute low, starting to reject. You have previous 15-minute highs up there. Yeah, I could squeeze a little bit more. You know, again, if it wasn't such a massive push down, like that would be a long that I would like to take. You're tapping into previous 5 minute lows, you know, something like that, looking for a pullback. But again, I can't ignore that this is a absolutely huge sell-off for gold. Any guys who are, you know, maybe new to trading gold, a 450 tick sell-off pre-London is a very, very, very big move. So whether it has the push or not, you know, we'll see. We shall see, guys. Remember, like I said, we got all week as well. We have all week here. We don't need to force Goldie. Yeah, oil. Let me see. Yeah, it's not, you know, it's not ideal. You know, when you jump on, you see gold's already had a big push down. But guys, there's, you know, what are your options? What are your options when the markets are pushed down this much? Revenge trade or accept it and wait? Accept it and wait. It's not going to be the only move of the week. We're still going to have plenty of opportunities this week. Anything else you guys are looking at? If you want to, if you guys want to send over some trades or share some wins, some losses, absolutely anything like that, feel free to send it over, guys. It's unlikely that we're going to get another push on gold in the London session in the next hour. Anyway, wow, look at that rip on NQ. Did you manage to hold your NQ buys? Because you came down, regrabbed lows, broke higher as well. Still trying to squeeze. Big level though, but I would imagine a lot of people trying to short this. Yeah, longs are non-stop. NQ again would have been a huge trade. The buys from down here at 6 AM was massive. If only gold could follow suit, that would be great. This was a very nice push. It'd be done for the week. Take the rest of the week off. That is an incredible move. Still in, got out of break even, but got that re-entry up 35. Nice. 35 ticks. Yeah, nice work, man. Yeah, he came down here, grabbed the lows, re-broke back above, kind of brought in some sellers. I still believe these highs here look very nice. At least these highs. A very nice push. I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, let's get back to it. Let's get back to Goldie. I know you guys trying to turn us into NQ traders. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. This is a gold stream. You guys are trying to make me join the dark side. Not gonna happen. Yeah, 35 ticks is solid. Coming in some strong areas. Gold 15 trying to flip bullish here, guys. Like I said, if it wasn't such a crazy move down, this would be a trade that I would take. You tapped into the previous 5 minute lows and you rejected. And you have, you know, the 15 also reflipping back bullish. The reason I'm not jumping in this is because I'm not trying to be the first one in the markets here. This is a unnormal sell-off here on gold. Remember, you guys on YouTube, D will be on right after me as well at 9:30 London time. Join me. I know you guys trying to get us to join the dark side, trying to be Nasdaq traders. Not gonna work. Not gonna work. But it's good to see you guys, you know, looking at NQ, calling some nice NQ moves. It's nice to see it following pretty much the exact same plan that we used for gold. And NQ moved much nicer today as well, which is interesting. Blame Cam. I know. Yeah, he's the one making all that making all that bank on NQ. Had a crazy couple of weeks. He's up over like 10,000 on his Topstep accounts or something, or if not more. Yeah, like if this was same thing, if this was gold, this for our plan was beautiful. You had that inverse head and shoulders, you had that hourly fake out, you had the 30-minute liquidity grabs. It was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, Zoom guys, give me 2 seconds, guys. All right, YouTube guys, I'll wrap up here early today, guys, just because gold had such an incredible move that it's kind of hard to trade here in the London, so I don't want to make you guys sit here and watch it. We'll save our mental capital for something later on in the day, if not potentially tomorrow. So with this being such a big move here on gold, guys, NQ having a beautiful push from the support at 6 a.m. Rather than sitting here watching it, trying to event trade, you know, we have to just accept it and wait. So I'll let you guys go early today, and I'll see you guys same time again here tomorrow, where we will look to trade the London Open 7:30 until 9 a.m. London time. Trade safe for the rest of the day, guys. Gold's had a huge push. NQ's having a beautiful push. And if it's outside of your trading hours, accept it. Wait, there'll still be another good opportunity today. So I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. Trade safe, guys. I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.